beckons. I am coming to you from New York City, where we got in yesterday and had a lovely dinner with a dear friend. And I woke up this morning, had a little bit of a rough night getting down. I'm not talking so much about myself as I am about the 4-year-old who is still sleeping right over there. And so, but I got up this morning and started doing my morning yoga routine, and I should really show you. I'm doing it in a tight little kitchen here. Not a lot of space, but I don't need a lot of space. If I can stand up and squat down, I'm kind of good to go. And something started showing up, and I feel like this might have come up for me last time I was in New York as well. But the feel of the air here and the feel of the buildings and the interior of an apartment, it's like it's so clear that I'm near water, that I'm on the coast. And I think, and it's like I can breathe it, like I could close my eyes and just breathe in the ocean. And it reminds me of places that I've lived or spent time that are on the water. And it's like, it's giving me, for some reason, for whatever reason, what showed up this morning was this sense that not only is it really nice to be here and I kind of enjoy it, but there's also something that makes me really value where I currently live, because we live in the desert. And there's a long, like going back to ancient history of the desert being a kind of a place of spiritual retreat. And in Carl Jung's book, Red Book, which became the foundation for everything else he wrote, it's essentially an episode about him going into the desert, or at least there's a large portion. It's all internal narrative. It's all, he called it active imagination. But the desert is just such a both a metaphor and a literal place to go to do a certain kind of spiritual work. And I know that that's what I'm also doing where I live. That's part of why I live there. You know, when I look at the larger context of my life, not just the sort of daily circumstances, relationship circumstances that actually resulted in my living in the desert. I look at if I step back and look at a larger throw, it makes total sense, and it's a really wonderful and exciting opportunity that I have by being where I live. So in a funny way, even though this morning it was like, oh, I feel like I'm in Ghana, I feel like I'm in Italy, I feel like I'm on all these places I've been that are on the water, that are lush, verdant, you know. We're also across the street from one of my favorite buildings in all of New York. I don't know what it's called, but it's amazing. I'll give you a little shot of it before we go. But so at the same time as that appreciation, I think it was that appreciation, waking up into that appreciation this morning, that provoked this cascade of realizations about where I have been located physically, just on the kind of macro scale. If I look at where I have been physically on the planet, and what those locations provide, what they don't provide. They're sets of circumstances that give us a certain energetic and elemental kind of opportunity, and so and that's something that I've been vaguely aware of, but I actually kind of have to leave home occasionally to appreciate it, because I do get so close to my circumstances at home, and so I begin to take my own environment for granted, which of course is a shame. You live in a place like New Mexico. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world, just as far as kind of sheer natural beauty, and there's a kind of softness, like an embrace of life, despite it being a desert, which is in many ways a very harsh climate. It actually has it's almost like a happy desert, a friendly desert. But it's real easy to just be in your house and not get out, do your things, and have a kind of routine that doesn't let me appreciate fully where I am and what that environment is really signaling on a deeper level. And it is, I have to say, it's like body expanding, soul expanding to come back to a place like this, and to be just in what New York is for its own sake is really inspiring too. But that elemental aspect of what it all feels like, and what I seem to be resonating with. If we can lean into our environment, then it's like we can really fully gain the benefit, the lessons, whatever it is that it's trying to teach us. We can really receive those things instead of not, instead of being somehow, they're going in, because there's no way that we can live somewhere and be in a place that has that type of, anywhere we are is going to have that. It's going to have its own energetic signature, elemental signature that it's imprinting upon us. But I think what's coming through for me is, well, let me not just receive that unconsciously. Let me actually listen to that and see what I think that is, and engage with it, sort of willingly engage and lean into the environment, and see what that gives me, see what that brings me, in terms of both appreciation for where I am and a kind of gratitude for what this incredible phase of my life is about, but also maybe an even more specific understanding. Maybe I can actually get smarter about my own evolution, get really conscious of what steps I'm meant to be taking, so that I'm not wasting any time, so that I'm actually doing the work that this classroom is assigned. You know, I imagine me being in school and doing some other work in class. Not that I ever did that when I was in school. But anyway, but I have to say, it feels great to be breathing into a lush, kind of beautiful, moist environment. It's nice to be here. So, here, take a look. I don't know if you can actually see this. I just love that. Thanks, folks. Sorry there's no music today. There is a piano in that room, so if I get a chance, I'll do a second post where I put some piano. I do a little music, but Annalise is asleep, and I decided to make a judgment call here. Thanks. Much love. I will see you all very soon.